now we spend a lot of time looking for books, books to read aloud, books for kids, just books, books, books. And one resource we've used a lot for looking for books is Get Epic. It's a great resource, but there are others. So one of them is free because we're part of the school district. So it's called Sora. I'm just going to Google Sora. So if you do as well, it'll look the same or similar. So the first one's called Sora, and it connects to libraries. And since we have a QRSD login, we would be able to use it, or our students. I find it a little hard to navigate for students, so I would start with you, but Sora is a great option. So it's actually my first one. So we're going to find a school, and this is where it gets a little complicated. So ours is right here. It says Quabbin Regional School District. It's not going to say Ruggles Lane. It's not going to say Hardwick. It's going to say Quabbin Regional. So I'm going to click this is my school, but then I have to find my school again. And since we're Quabbin, not Ruggles Lane, not Ocam, Quabbin, I have to scroll Q Quabbin Regional. And that's why sometimes it's not the easiest thing. Start using Quabbin Regional. But once you're in here, there's so many books. So I'm going to choose my Google account because we have to sign in with the @QRSD so they know who you are. And Sora is just like using a library. So there are unbelievable amount of books in here. So I'm just going to shrink myself as much as possible over there. So I can explore. I can look by that. I can look for young adults, comic and graphic novels, juvenile fiction, anything, humor, mystery. So let's say we're doing a mystery. When I click it, it is going to bring up a lot of kids' books. There's audiobooks and there are actual books, digital books for them to read, but it does give adult books and kid books. So we can shift and kind of refine it. Sort by language, audience. And I would say the juvenile. So see how it brings it down to more of a kid level. Nate the Great. So it's got a lot of great options. And since this is like a library, some of these books you may have to wait for, some of you may have not. So I'm going to refine again, and I'm going to sort by, there should be let's see, date added, popularity. Nope. Preferences. Aha, that's what it is. Preferences, books available. I already had that one on, but you can do it by audience. You can do it by all of those preferences. So you can refine it and you have your preferences. So I can look, all of these books are available to me right now. So if I wanted to do a boxcar, I look at the little thing, I see the grade level, I can see that there's a bunch. I'm going to say borrow. And when it borrows, it opens it right up. So I'm going to click. And now I'm able to read this book. So one thing that I loved, especially after doing remote last year, was being able to do read alouds where I can share my screen. So someone had done in the survey that they wanted to know more screens castify and doing read alouds. This would be a great option to be able to do a read aloud with kids because they would see it on the screen. So I'm going to get out of this book. I'm going to close my head. So I double click to the bottom and I'm just going to hit close. So I've closed that book. So I've already borrowed it. They've got achievements and all of that on here. Picture books. That would also be a great option for here. So I'm going to hit explore again on the bottom. But there's just a lot of books, so I find it to be a little overwhelming. They have a lot about the Olympics. So I can do maybe some juvenile fiction. I can explore all subjects. Literature. Picture book fiction. Let's try that. Let's see what they have for some picture books in here. So they do have some read aloud, which is great. But they have a lot of picture books. So if you wanted to do a read aloud, or if you're looking for a specific one, you can search. So let's say you're doing something with the crazy pigeon. I'm just going to search pigeon. We got read alouds of Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus, but they don't have the picture book. So let's see what an audio book looks like. So this would be a good choice for if kids maybe have it in front of, but they need to listen to it. So now it's borrowed. I'm going to hit play. Students could have the book in front of them and be able to listen along to some other books. So this would be great for a station if you had audiobooks for kids. Um, but something you could maybe set up with the older kids, they might be able to find some books that they like and be able to use it. So that's one option when you are trying to find a book for students to read. It's called Sora, and it goes along with our library. Another one that goes along with our library is Libby. Libby Library app. It's actually, you can send it. So I have a library card. You have to have a library card to do this, but you can actually send books to your Kindle app. So last year I would do, I just want Libby because it's trying to give me the app. So I would find a lot of books for my kids to read just by doing it that way. So I've changed what I needed to do. So I'm going to click on, I searched Libby Library. So I'm going to click the first option, Libby by Overdrive. Hi, I'm Libby, where I can borrow it. So if you have a student who has a device, they can do it on their device, or we can just go to libbyapp.com. They are going to ask for your library card number. I know in OCAM they all have them, but if you want some help reaching out to libraries to get kids library cards, I'd be more than happy to do that. So I have a library card. I am going to pause for a second and get myself logged in. Okay, since I already had Libby on my iPad, I just had to get the code from there so I can see that I am good to go. So I have a library card at Berry Library, so this would work with any of them. So do you prefer to read the Kindle, or we can open it on our device? I'm going to skip that because sometimes I like to do both. So again, search through here. You can search on the bottom. We have a search button. We have kind of that home button. The middle one shows our library cards and settings is where I got my code. The book stack is search the books that I've already done, and then I have a history. So it doesn't save your history very long because in the spring I was doing a lot of book sharing from here. So the same thing before, I can go by just added. So let's use some of my preferences. I want format. I can book, audiobook, magazines, any of them. Language, audience. I'm going to go with juvenile. Supports for us. I'm going to leave it like that. Availability, I want it available now. And I'm going to apply those preferences and see what comes up. So we have some Big Neat. We have some dive into reading. Maybe some of the I Survive, so we can search. Search. I Survive. And we have a lot of books, and I think I said we have audiobooks in here as well. I know I Survived is a popular series. Maybe if you were looking for Gordon Corman. We have some Gordon Corman in here as well. So there are very popular book series, book authors. So let's say that I wanted to rent Swindle. So I know it's available because I made it on my filter. I can look right here, and I'm just going to click borrow. It looks at your library card. I can borrow it for 14 days, but I can renew it. So I'm going to open the book. I'm going to open it on Libby, just right on this app. It's thinking, and it looks just like the Sora app did. So I can just scroll through the book, my table of contents, and start reading. So those are two other options. We have Sora and we have Libby that you guys can use to find more books to use with your students. If you need any help using either of these websites or getting on, let me know.